When I was your age, television was called books, and this is a special book. It was the book my father used to read to me when I was sick, and I used to read it to your father. And today, I'm going to read it to you.
Most kids have fond memories of being looked after by their grandparents. Rodney Turner is 65 years old and regularly cares for his 7 grandchildren, aged between 9 months and 11.
All right, I've been there, done that. Oh, you haven't, I know you haven't, but I have. I will be taking off the grandma role, and I will be going over right and having breakfast with the kids and getting them their school outfit and taking them to school and then coming back and picking them up from school and then minding them for an hour and a half or so until their mum gets home. Right? And henceforth, that's where the fish and chips get involved, right, as a bit of a treat.
His daughter Gaynor is a single mum whose 2 kids split their time between before school care and granddad's while she's at work.
So to have my parents there is amazing because they can actually go home and have a bit of a relax and have a bit of a play, and they are having that home time. Whereas if I was picking them up at 6 o'clock, it'd be dinner 6:37, we'd be struggling to get homework done. It would be a struggle and a lot of stress on everyone, I think.
Now more than 200,000 grandparents informally care for their grandchildren. On average, grandparents care for their grandkids for between 16 to 20 hours per week, with 41% of grandfathers caring for their grandkids at least once a week. Ian Day from Council on the Ageing says the role of grandfathers is changing.
And certainly the earlier changes were the changes of grandfathers taking a greater role in grandparenting. I mean, it used to be that grandfathers were still standoffish and they were the grumpy fellow in the corner, if you will. They're actually taking an active role in their grandkids, and I think that's been happening for the last 20 or 30 years, more and more so.
Yes, I'm very, very grumpy to them, so they think, but it's only because I'm keeping them on the straight and narrow all the time.
But I think of more recent times, just the economic situation as it is, the cost of housing in New South Wales, and the need for both parents to be working just to be able to afford mortgages now of in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars requires both parents to be working. So the grandparents stump up in many cases and help the kids and look after the grandparents at least for a couple of days a week.
How do families get around that if grandparents don't do that? You don't have to do that. It's something that you want to do, and it's something that you volunteer to do, and you do it all free of charge. And as I said, it's very, very hard for people to survive without that support.
They've got such a great relationship with mum and dad that they do really enjoy it, and both grandma and granddad do their own little things that perhaps I wouldn't necessarily do with them in the afternoons. Like my dad sometimes takes them for some hot chips or a little ice cream after school, which they just think's the best.
I love grandkids. I think they're terrific. They can play with them and whatever, but you give them back, right? Most of the time, right? You can give them back, right?
Grandpa, maybe you could come over and read it again to me tomorrow.